Hi, I'm Guna Mathivanan. Welcome to Simply Current Affairs. Today in this video, we are going to discuss our second current affairs hit list topic targeting Prelims 2026. Friends, I'm coming up with exclusive course on current affairs 75 cross 75 and a full economic course targeting Prelims 2026. I have given the information in the description. If you are interested, you can go through. Today's topic will be very interesting and very important. The topic name is SnapX. SnapX, it is a bioink. This deals with coral restoration. So before understanding what is a SnapX, we will try to understand corals first. Okay. So corals are animals. Corals are animals. These are marine invertebrate. It does not have backbone. Okay. Corals are animals. Single coral animal, we refer it as polyp. This is what is polyp. A single coral animal, but these polyps will live in a group. They form colonies. As a group, they will live. In the group, you will have millions of polyps. And these polyps, they build a hard structure around itself. It builds a hard structure around itself. That is why when we look at videos or images about coral reefs, we see a rock-like structure. Basically, that rock-like structure, that is the hard structure the polyp has built around itself. Inside that hard structure only you will see polyp. Even if the polyp dies, even if this single polyp dies, the hard structure will remain. Okay, the hard structure, just imagine a very big apartment. In an apartment, in a flat system, you will have hundreds of families. Okay, the hundreds of families are the individual polyps. The apartment is the hard structure. Even if the family's individual dies, the hard structure will remain. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, over and above this hard structure, other polyps will come and settle and they will start building another fresh hard structures around it. Are you able to understand? So imagine a flat, hundreds of families are there. Now, new polyp families also will come and settle in the same apartment. Above each floor, they will start building other floors. Okay, this is called as coral reef building activity. Okay, imagine there is a 5-floor apartment. Now, new corals will come, build 6th floor. Other set of corals will come, they will build 7th floor, 8th floor, 9th floor. It keeps going on and on. Remember, in the first floor, second floor, even the families or the polyps die, that doesn't matter. The hard structure will remain. So, this process is called as coral reef building activity. This is called as coral reefs. Okay. So, the biggest coral reef is the Australian Great Barrier Reef. The reef length is almost 2,400 kilometers. Okay. 2,400 kilometers, the reef building activity. No, it's happening. It's an ongoing process. Okay. So I hope you got clarity about these corals. So corals, look at this image. These corals, they will build a hard structure. They will live in group. They will build hard structure. Over and above the hard structure, other corals will come and settle. They will also build the hard structure, and the coral reef building activity will happen. So it will appear that the entire corals are growing slowly. These are reef building activity. Okay. So now we will try to understand the significance of corals. Some significance we have to understand. See, these corals, okay, they occupy only 0.1% of the oceans. But however, they are housed to 25% of marine species. 25% of world's marine species, fishes, tortoise, shrimps, other marine species, they live in the gaps or the shelter of these corals. The corals, though it occupies only 0.1% of the oceans, but it is housed to 25% of marine species. Look at the significance. So if the corals are disturbed, then 25% of marine species is also disturbed. See, Australian Great Barrier Reef, as I said, it is in this region, almost stretches close to 2,400 kilometers. Right? These corals are generally found in tropical waters, that is 30 degrees north to 30 degrees south, okay, above and below the equator, generally. It is also found in the tropical waters. It is also found at a shallow depth. Okay, the temperature should be warmer, the depth should also be shallow. But this is the normal case, but there are some exceptional cases where even in the cold water, even in the depth, we can see corals. But generally it is found in the tropical waters, warm waters. So these are some interesting factors, significant interesting factors about corals. Now I would like to introduce one more information regarding corals. What is that? See, these corals, whenever we see, the pictures, the images, whatever we see, it is very, very colorful. We see colorful images, right? These colorful corals, the corals are so colorful because of one algae called as zooxanthellae. Okay, an algae called as zooxanthellae. See, these zooxanthellae algae and this coral polyp, they live in a symbiotic relationship. That means both is two different species. One is zooxanthellae algae, another one is coral polyp. Inside the tissues of the polyp only, this zooxanthellae algae will be present. See, the zooxanthellae algae will give 90% of energy to the corals. In return, corals will give food and shelter for the zooxanthellae, for the algae to stay. So, the presence of this algae inside the polyp is beneficial for both. Polyp is also getting benefited. The algae is also getting benefited. That is why we are referring this relationship as symbiotic relationship. So, this presence of zooxanthellae is what gives all the color to the corals. But sir, in these corals we are not able to see any colors because here the corals got bleached. The corals got bleached. So what is coral bleaching? So coral bleaching is an outcome of the corals expelling the zooxanthellae out of it. So whenever the corals send the zooxanthellae out of it, color is gone. When color is gone, we say coral is bleached. So it is a process where corals will push. It will expel the zooxanthellae. If I am the coral, inside me, if I am the polyp, okay, the coral polyp, inside me there is zooxanthellae. If I throw it out, I will lose all my color. This is called as coral bleaching. The corals will not do it wantedly. This happens because of certain reasons. For example, global warming. See, when the ocean temperature increases, then the zooxanthellae, the algae are so sensitive, it cannot tolerate that increase in temperature. So this results in expulsion of these algae from the corals. So global warming can lead to coral bleaching. Okay, there are other reasons. Pollution. See, there are ocean pollution, be it the plastic pollution or the oil spillage. Or I will give you an interesting news. So Hawaii Island is 50th state of United States of America, which is in Pacific Ocean. This Hawaii state, they have banned the use of sunscreen lotions. Not all sunscreen lotions with a specific chemical called as octinoxate and oxybenzone. Not important from an exam point of view, just know that those sunscreen lotions with a common ingredient called as octinoxate, oxybenzone. So such sunscreen lotions are banned in Hawaii state. Why, sir? So assume that I am the tourist. Now I apply sunscreen lotion which has oxybenzone, octinoxate. Now I jump into the waters. Now these chemicals dissolve in the waters. These chemicals will reach the corals. Okay, and these chemicals will result in the death of zooxanthellae. So what happens when zooxanthellae are dead? Automatically the corals will lose its color. So pollution is another reason. Sedimentation. Okay, a lot of industrial wastes are released into the water or any other, let's say, oil extraction processes going on in the oceans. All these results in sedimentation Okay, now this sedimentation will prevent the entry of sunlight into the water. Presence of sunlight is very, very important for healthy corals and zooxanthellae. So sedimentation is also a problem. See, apart from these reasons, so these directly results in coral bleaching. Okay, these directly results in coral bleaching. So what will happen? The coral is bleached. That means when the zooxanthellae is expelled, zooxanthellae, I said, it provides 90% of energy to the corals. When zooxanthellae is expelled, then the corals will lose the energy. Corals will not die immediately, but eventually it will die. Eventually it will die. Okay, see, apart from global warming, pollution, sedimentation, in general, the corals are facing certain threats caused by various, global warming is, again, these three are also important reasons. Some more reasons which may not be directly attributed for coral bleaching, but that affects corals in general. What are those? For example, you take ocean acidification. So what is this ocean acidification? See, because of more carbon dioxide emission, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is increasing. The oceans also will capture some of the excess carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide, when it gets dissolved into the oceans, it affects the calcification process of these corals. Calcification process means, I said, right, these polyps, they will build a hard structure. These polyps, they will collect the minerals from the oceans and they will build a hard structure around it. The presence of more carbon dioxide will affect the hard structure construction. Okay, so without that hard structure construction, the corals will die. Eventually it will die. So ocean acidification is also a problem for corals' health in general. See, apart from that, indiscriminate fishing practices. Indiscriminate, we have a fishing practice called as blast fishing practice, where the fishermen, what they will do, they will keep some dynamite inside near the corals and they will make it blast so that all the fishes, other species inside the corals will come out, they can capture. But in this process, the corals will be dead. Okay, and another way of fishing is, fishermen, they will go deep into the waters near the corals, they will just bang on the corals so that the fishes will come out. Again, this is going to affect the corals. So like this, such indiscriminate fishing practices, pollution, ocean acidification, sedimentation, pollution, global warming, right, causes global bleaching, and in general it affects the health of the corals. When the corals' health is affected, as I said, corals, they are the house for 25% of the marine species. So that 25% of the marine species will be homeless. That is going to be more dangerous. You have to understand, these corals are referred as the tropical rainforest of the seas. Tropical rainforest of the seas. It houses more and more amount of marine species than what tropical forest has. More than what tropical animal phyla has. We have more marine species inside the corals. So we have to protect the corals. That is very, very important. Right. So see, whatever I have explained, the images I have given here. A healthy coral is there because of the environmental stress, the global warming, algae are getting expelled, and that results in coral bleaching. And also toxic ingredients like oxybenzone, octinoxate. So sunscreen lotions or any other chemicals also, they also become the reason for the coral bleaching. That is why Hawaii state, they have banned the use of these sunscreen lotions. Right? Then this one I explained about the ocean acidification. Ocean acidification that affects the calcification process only. Then indiscriminate fishing practices. This is called as the blast fishing. So dynamites will be placed near the corals. Okay, this is the second one I said. People will be banging on it, right? So then we have a bottom trawling fishing practice where, look at this image. So we have a boat, so below which we have a lengthier nets. So the nets will be pulled from the bottom. So in that process, the existing corals can also be affected. Sedimentation will affect the passage of light. The light availability will be reduced. That is going to affect the health of the corals. Right? So these are important features, important functions, important characteristics, challenges, threats faced by the corals. Now, recently, biologists, they discovered a rocky pink algae which is referred as crustoscorallin algae. Now, these algae, they, as a part of their metabolism, they release some byproducts. Metabolism means chemical reaction. These algae, inside the algae, some reactions are going on. Okay, so that chemical reaction releases some byproducts. That byproducts are called as metabolite. So metabolite is a byproduct of a metabolism. Metabolism means chemical reaction. These algae undergo a chemical reaction. That chemical reaction releases a byproduct called as metabolite. So biologists, they discovered that these metabolite are attracting coral larvae or coral larva. See, coral larva is nothing but the offsprings of the existing corals. The existing corals, okay, so they will be releasing the eggs and the sperms that will get fertilized and that will turn into a larvae, okay, or larva. So this coral larva is getting attracted to these metabolites released by crustoscorallin algae. So this attraction factor was noticed by the biologists. So now what biologists did? Now using the metabolite of this crustoscorallin algae, we will refer it as rocky pink algae only. So using the metabolites of this blue-green, of this pink algae, this rocky pink algae, the researchers, the biologists, the researchers, the scientists, they developed a bioink. They developed a bioink called as SnapX. So bioink is a biomaterial. Bioink is a biomaterial. So what is biomaterial? Biomaterial can be a living material or a man-made material. Okay, for example, a cell can also be called as a biomaterial, or some man-made chemical which is more compatible with biological structures, that is also called as biomaterial. Put it simply, it is some biological material. So what scientists did, they took the metabolite. They took the metabolite from this algae. Using that metabolite, the scientists developed a biomaterial which is called as SnapX. Now what scientists did? They applied this SnapX over a surface. This is the actual image. Okay, so scientists from California University, so they developed that bioink. It looks like a gel. Okay, so that bioink contains that metabolite. So they applied that metabolite in the surface. Okay, in a surface, in the laboratory condition, they applied on the surface and they suspended the coral larvae. Now these coral larvae, they started getting attracted towards that surface, and on that surface they started building corals. The hard structure, the process that started. Are you able to understand? So what the scientists observed from the algae's metabolite, they were able to understand this metabolite is attracting the coral larvae. So this attraction point triggered them. So synthetically in the laboratory, they developed a bioink. That bioink is inspired from that metabolite. Using that metabolite only, they developed bioink, a gel kind of thing. Okay, a biological gel. Now that gel in the laboratory, they applied over a surface. Then they were putting some coral larvae into that. In that laboratory, this coral larvae, it was getting attracted. It was getting attracted to that surface. Okay, more attraction they were able to see. So in a concentrated way, these larvae is getting attracted, and from there the corals started growing. So this is a breakthrough. Why is this a breakthrough? So now the bioink, let's say globally we see a lot of coral bleaching activity going on. Corals are getting destructed. So now let's take this bioink. Imagine a gel. So you apply the gel on the existing corals. You apply the gel on the existing corals. Now what happens? The coral larvae which is found in the oceans, they will be attracted towards the damaged corals, and over the damaged corals, they will start building, so that the damaged corals over a period, it can be strengthened, it will start growing, the corals will be restored, and it will become a house for millions of species. Okay, so this is how the snapbacks can help in restoration of corals. So this breakthrough happened recently. That is why this topic was in news. So in these slides I have given about what is corals. Okay, hard coral, soft coral. Then what is this coral reefs? What is the symbiotic relationship between the coral and zooxanthellae I have given? Significance of corals I have given. All these, this statement was asked in UPSC PYQ. This part was asked in PYQ. Okay, this part was asked in PYQ. Right, this part was also asked in the exam. So here I have given the significance of the corals. What is coral bleaching? The role of sunscreen lotions information I have given here. Threats to the corals: climate change, ocean acidification, pollution, sedimentation, destructive fishing practices. So why it was in news? Biologists, what they discovered, that I have explained. What is a snapbacks? So I hope you got clarity. All the notes I have given here, it will be useful for both your prelims and mains. So you can download these notes by clicking the link given in the description. Right friends, I will see you in the next Hitlist video. We have other playlists as well where I am doing economics explained. I have discussed about GST. I have explained about balance of payments, forex reserve. In the current affairs Hitlist only I have explained about NISAR topic. All these are very important. We are also doing editorial based answer writing initiative as well. Please go through our other playlists. So I will see you in another Hitlist video. Till then, bye. Take care from Guna Mathivanan.